So good to be back at Empower at a slightly different capacity. Last time on the same topic, I had given one case study presentation. I don't know how many of you were there for that. And this time I'm able to sort of drive this discussion. So thank you again for the introduction, Prateek. Thank you for this opportunity, the entire Empower team. My name is Siddharth. I am the Chief Impact Officer at NeoMotion. We are an IT Madras incubated startup. I think, yes, mechanical engineering is what I had completed as my education. I worked here and there. Then we started New Motion with Swastik and Ashish, and we build products for mobility for persons with disabilities. So that's about me. Okay. Uh, I'll in fact request all the other panelists to please join us on stage. Vibha, who's part of diversity and inclusion at Zomato. Mr. Gopinath, who's the Chief General Manager of the SBI branch at IIT Madras Research Park. Mr. Mike from Worth Trust. Um, I think, am I missing someone?
Anuj here.
Yeah, you, and yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Please. Oh, please have a seat. This is my first time, so if I'm not doing according to protocol, then please excuse me. Yeah. And yes. So basically, yeah, the panel is sort of broadly two categories. While we just had our enablers on the stage, we also have our users, our beloved users for whom we have developed these products for. At the end, the assistive technology is to provide some sort of assistance to someone so that they can live life just like anyone else, a more inclusive environment. We have Ashok Kumar Dilli Babu, we have Anuj, we have Rihana over there on the far left. First, I would like you guys, all of you, to please give a short introduction about yourself, what do you do, and yeah, I think we will start off from that.
Thank you, Siddharth. So this is Ashok Kumar from Turanmur. Currently, I'm working in Accenture. So it's IT industry, all you know, I guess. So I met with an accident 11 years back. So spinal injury. After that, I went to rehab, and then this new fly initially they initiated new motion. So this is the wheelchair. We can't afford. No, usually the wheelchair we don't know about how the wheelchair is all about, but this wheelchair changed our entire life. So we will discuss upcoming conversation. Thanks.
And in fact, we'll just follow this order. I think Vibha.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Vibha Kothari, and I lead diversity, equity, and inclusion at Zomato. It's a fairly new journey for us, being a new company, but we're extremely passionate about creating a more diverse organization, a more diverse value chain. We work very closely with NeoMotion and have an extremely beloved project around the same as well. And I hope to be telling you about it through this panel discussion. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. You're able to hear me? Good evening, everyone. I'm Gopinath. I'm Chief Manager. I'm heading the startup branch of SBI here in IIT Madras Research Park. So this is a totally different kind of a branch. I wouldn't call it a usual banking branch. So this is one of the 5 branches we opened for startups and the entire startups ecosystem across the country. And I'm happy to be part of this event that we're here. I've been associated with NeoMotion. We opened this branch on 7th of January this year. And since then, we are closely working with NeoMotion, with Siddharth and Swastik and Madam Professor Sujata. So we'll be talking more about it. I've put in 14 years of experience in SBI, and I've worked through foreign exchange, international banking, SME credits, large credits, rural banking, almost everything. This is kind of an exciting opportunity for me, this branch. Thank you. We'll be talking.
Hi, Anuj Arora here. Am I audible?
Is he audible?
I think that mic is not working. Thank you so much. Thank you for the privilege to be on this platform and share my thoughts. So I have been using this product called Mouseware, which is basically head mouse to control gadgets. So when I had contracted the disease, and over a period of time, I lost control over all my limbs. So after being quadriplegic, I did not find anything to look forward to. But since the time Mouseware has come into my life, I can I can build up my social contact, and I can. So earlier there was a problem that when I used to do a financial transaction, I had to take help from someone. So I think you should be privy to all these transactions. Being a banker, you would appreciate that somebody doing a financial transaction, they should have their privacy along with it. So things like these, I'll share more on the way, but Mouseware has been a gateway to the world for me. So after being quadriplegic, I've been able to keep up all my contact, being social and being active. So that is what it has done for me. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mike Nunes, and I come from an organization called Worth Trust. Worth Trust is a self sufficient rehabilitation organization working for the cause of the differently abled from 1963. We are an organization for and by persons with disabilities. We are a unique organization which provides comprehensive rehabilitation, education, training, and employment of the differently abled, providing a lifetime livelihood opportunity, especially in the manufacturing sector, is our main driving force. So, as I said, Worth Trust is a completely self sufficient rehabilitation organization where we run a lot of manufacturing industries where we employ mostly differently abled, all types of disability. And the surplus that we earn from these industries are plowed back towards the rehabilitation that we do, where we run a lot of schools for speech and hearing impaired, day activity centers for the intellectually challenged, early intervention centers for autistic children, and a lot of technical training centers for in various trades like turner, machinist, welding, electronic trades, horticulture, and smartphone repairs. I thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and it has been 2 lovely days at Empower 2023, and I wish that this continues year on year. Thank you.
Hi, hi. I am Rihanna. I am from ECR. I'm physically handicapped person. It's my affected is polio and 92 percentage. Now I am working in Zomato delivery agent. When I got a new bolt and new fly, I'm so feel happy and I feel like independent girl. Before we are all looking in women only, but now we are all looking flying woman. So I'm so happy and thank you to Siddha sir and Vijay sir and thank you for new motion. It's my great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Rihanna, and thank you, Rihanna, for coming here even despite the rains. So thank you so much for that. So I'll start first with all the users of the technology here. Ashok sir, from you first. So it might sound a very general question, but yes, because it is a discussion, I would just want to do it anyways. What is the role of assistive technology in your life, and especially in your employment? So you said you work in Accenture as an IT professional. What assistive technology do you use, and how does it actually fit in your life? How does it help you in your employment in any specific way?
Yeah. So assistive technology, it's not a small area to cover. So as we are a part of a new motion family, so on this new fly initially when you invented, so this is the first wheel, no, not third wheelchair I'm using. So initially these kind of customized wheelchair is available only in Europe and US countries. So when I search in Google, this time India, this kind of wheelchair is not available or manufacturer is not available here. So when I come to know this is a new motion, involving in this new fly wheelchair, customized wheelchair. So we are so blessed that based on our weight and height, all the customized wheelchairs manufactured within India, that too in Chennai. So we are so blessed to have this kind of wheelchair. So coming to work point of view, so this wheelchair is very user friendly to wheel by ourselves. So no, without anyone's support, it's very easily to wheel. Uh, Here, usually in Chennai or India, the accessibility is very difficult to access. But this wheelchair, wherever we go, we can access easily in the any kind of normal service or even in the normal road. But compared with other wheelchair, this is far better. Not far better. 200, but 2% is a very better wheelchair for us. It's a game changer for all the disabled people, differently able people I can call.
Just to add on that, and just to get a little more specific, so you said that yes, the wheelchair is good for you, but what was exactly the challenge before? Is it just the comfort? And just for everyone's understanding and also for our clarity, do you go to an office and work, or do you work from home? Do you actually have to travel to an office or a workplace? And when you say, if you just had to imagine, you start from your home and then you reach your office, any sort of hurdles or any sort of infrastructural problems, if you could just highlight on that.
So initially, when I used to go to office, so there are a lot of challenges with my previous wheelchair because if people see only the wheelchair, not me. So when I ride this wheelchair, people only see me, not a wheelchair. So I that gave me more confidence on my work as well. Similarly, when this wheelchair came into our life, so we just not, we will think we are also normal people. So we are not this also very lightweight compared with my last previous wheelchair. And then you ask about how the wheelchair is all about. So this wheelchair, as I already shared, it's customized wheelchair, right? So more useful for based on the people who are all more weight as well or less weight. So based on their weight and they can easily navigate. So in office, security and all usually they will used to come and help us, support us. But when I ride previously, I work from home only. Nowadays I'm going to office. So no need for me to support. Initially, I need a support because that wheelchair is too heavy to ride. So this wheelchair is very easy to ride and go to my workstation.
Thank you, Ashok sir. Coming to Anuj, so Anuj, I was speaking to you before, and you also mentioned, so you were working before in ICICI itself, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then even post your injury, you are still working in ICICI. So
Right.
on that note, how was the transition like from an able bodied person to, say, when you had this injury? How was that experience? Could you just highlight that for us?
Uh, do I need a mic? I have, but yeah. So when you said that the neurological disease progressed and I lost control of my all feelings, then employment was an afterthought, which was very important. but at the same time, I did not have anything to support my existence. So when Mouseware came into my life, so what used to happen that I used to be socially active, connect with people across platforms, keep myself updated with the things I'm interested in. And all this while I was going through this journey, I have enabled myself to do my office work as well. So in between, I spoke to my organization and they were okay to test it out. And I was pretty happy that the kind of productivity I was giving to the organization earlier. So this was not at par, but even 80% for a person like me is a great achievement. So that has been there. And to add to that, again going back to what I was talking, that our dignity becomes very important. And when you're able to support your family in whatever way, when you're able to be financially included, I think that is a great achievement. And when people respect our existence, it gives us all the more confidence that we are a part of society and we are contributing to the economy.
So that's great. So what, if I have to just summarize, the device, and again, just to clarify, while I am from NeoMotion, I am here representing all 80 startups, at least at Empower, at IIT Madras, or wherever. So yes, while what I would like to say is that while you got the mouseware from Dextroware,
Yes.
I think the first impact was from personal, family, close relatives. I mean, it starts from home first,
Right.
where you get your individual confidence.
Yes.
Then you went back to your previous employer,
Yes.
and you said that yes, I have something now with which, and it was very nice to hear that you even put a number of 80%. So you know that, even you know that yes, I am not yet there at my potential, but by
Yes.
putting a number, you know that I can. There is that 20% still left for me to reach 100. So first, the device impacted your life first, your own individual confidence, and then you had the confidence to go back to your employer.
Absolutely.
And obviously, yes, their acceptance that yes, 80% productivity is good enough for us to at least start this.
Yes.
Great, great. That was great to hear, Anuj. Rihanna, from your side. So
Yes, sir.
before you became a Zomato delivery partner, what did you have any source of employment? If yes, what was that, and how would you manage that with whatever assistive technology you had before, whatever wheelchair you had before?
Yeah, before I'm working in telecalling from work from home. Now I am going to outside. Any job, I can do any job.
It's
I,
closer to your mouth, the other mic.
okay, I can do any job. I think so.
So, but if you have to compare, would you do a telecalling job even now, or what is it? Is there something that,
Difference.
yeah?
A
What is the
difference.
difference between the two job opportunities?
I feel now so happy. So much so much of timing and telling only. I'm this time I'm so happy because before I only work from home only. Uh, like I don't know. I don't know. Now I am so free. Freedomly. Anywhere I will go.
If you want, you can say it in Tamil also. If you want to elaborate on this.
ஓகே, நான் தமிழ்லேயே பேசுகிறேன். ஃபஸ்ட்டு நான் வந்து வீட்டுக்குள்ளேயே ஒர்க் பண்ணும்போது அது ஒரு மாதிரி என்ன தான் நான் ஒர்க் பண்ணாலும் அதில் ஏர்னிங்ஸ் எனக்கு கிடைச்சாலும் ஒரு 4 சுவருக்குள்ளேயே இருந்து ஒர்க் பண்ணுற ஒரு ஃபீல் தான் எனக்கு கிடைச்சிது. ஸோ என்னடா இது லைஃப் இப்படி இருக்கே, அதாவது சம்பாதிக்கிறோன்றதை தாண்டி நமக்கு ஒரு ஃபுல்ஃபில் இருக்கணும் இல்லைங்களா, ஒரு கம்ஃபர்டபிலிட்டி வந்து ஒரு ஹாப்பினஸ் கிடைக்கணும் அப்படின்னா அண்ட் நியோ போல்ட் கிடச்சதுக்கப்புறம் இப்போ என்னால் எந்த ஒர்க்கும் பார்க்க முடியும் வெளியே போய். இன்னொன்று என்னென்னா, உங்களை மாதிரி நானும் ஒரு சராசரி பெண் அப்படின்ற ஒரு ஃபீல் எனக்கு கொடுத்தது இந்த வைக்கல் தான். ஸோ ரொம்ப ஃபஸ்ட்டு இருந்ததை விட இப்போ நான் ரொம்ப ஃபீல் ஹாப்பி இதை தான் நான் அதிகமாக சொல்வேன். ஏன்னா நான் அவ்வளோ ஹாப்பி ஆயிருக்கேன் இந்த வைக்கிளால். மற்றவங்கள பொறுத்தளவு இதை வைக்கிள் அப்படின்றத பார்க்குறோம். பட் நான் என்னோட ரெக்கைகளாக பார்க்குறேன், என்னுடைய கால்களாக இதை பார்க்குறேன். ஸோ அந்த அளவுக்கு இது எனக்கு ஒரு பெரிய பேக் போன். எங்களை மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு இது ரொம்ப பெரிய ஒரு சப்போர்ட்டையும் தாண்டி ஒரு பெரிய பேக் போன் தான் நான் சொல்வேன். இது வரைக்கும் எல்லாரையும் டெஃபன் பண்ணியே போயிட்டு இருந்தோம். பட் இப்போ எங்களால் எந்த இடத்துக்கும் இண்டிபெண்ட்டாக போகணும் அப்படின்றது எங்களை ஒரு ட்ரீமாகவே இருந்தது. இன்றைக்கி அந்த ட்ரீமை நாங்கள் அச்சீவ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம் அப்படின்னா அது அந்த நியோபோல் தான்.
So, sir, can you actually, while I say my Tamil is great, but can you please translate some of that? Whatever she said, little bit, if you can just clarify for everyone and just little bit.
Yeah, what she said was while she was at home, she was always within the four walls, and it was very, very difficult for her. And she always thought that, okay, is my life going to be like this always? And she didn't like it at all. But once she received the Neo Bolt, she was so happy that she could see the world. It's not the only thing that she goes out to work. It is the happiness that she receives in meeting people, going around on herself, being independent, and that is what Neo Bolt has given her. And another thing is, when she was at home, she used to use a wheelchair, but it was only, to commute within the place. But with the Neo Bolt, it is just not a wheelchair. It is like her wings. The entire life today is, completely changed because of this beautiful wheelchair.
Great, thank you, Rihanna. So, I mean, yes, I sort of agree to that as well, right? So, work from home, I think at certain levels, fine, it's good, it has its own convenience. But then at the end, yes, you are within your room, within your house. You want to go out, you want to meet even if I just have to talk about work, you want to meet your colleagues, you want to have face-to-face meetings and not just schedule meetings on Zoom or on Google Meet. So, Anuj, just coming back to you now, do you know any other persons with disabilities in your organization apart from you, and what devices are they using and what challenges do they face in your organization? Do you know any of them like that?
I have not come across anyone who's with as severe disability as mine. So there are people who have problem in one leg, so they use crutches to basically walk. And I've seen people using wheelchairs, but beyond that, I have not seen too much of technological intervention in the organization. And that is why I was all the more happy that it was something which I was introduced to, and they had accepted it with open arms. So as she said that she had got wings to go out, so I physically don't go out, but as it is as good a connection as going out, because I'm able to catch up with my friends. I'm able to keep myself updated about the happenings of the country or the world. So it is not a mobility device which has helped me, although I need it, but at the same time, I needed digital accessibility. And I think that is what it has provided.
And on that note, how long has it been since you started working again in your current organization? When you restarted?
So I did it for a while. It was on a trial basis. And since I was suffering from other health conditions, so I had excused myself out for a little while. And probably from December, I'll again start to work from home. Yes.
No, my question was in a way that, so say when you interacted with your probably HR or DNI,
Right.
various companies are yet to have specific DNI roles, but they do have HR roles. So when you took this proposal to them, and then it was implemented, do you feel that now you just said that probably the infrastructure is not there, but do you think that because of this, like you have also pioneered something in your own organization? Do you feel something like that?
I've seen that. I feel that I have introduced, since I got introduced, I brought it to the organization, and the kind of response I got from the Isha team, it was pretty encouraging. And I think they would be able to help other people who are facing certain disabilities to help with these kind of technologies and introduce them if they are not aware of it.
Great, thank you, Anuj, and thank you for bringing that at least in your organization you have created that spark, and hopefully, I mean these things do take time, but I think you've at least introduced it in your organization. And Ashok sir, on the same level itself, just another. So, how did your organization help you uh, with this? So, were there like any schemes or policies that were available to you from your organization so that you can probably buy one AT device for yourself? Is there something like that in your firm?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I am audible, right? So in our organization, initially 2 years back, they gave 50,000 of amount as a, for we can buy accessory devices through our insurance policy. So when the new motion or new bolt came into our life, so we fought and we checked with HR and all the leadership when the PWD Connect happened. So this 50,000 is not affordable for us because the devices and all are a little expensive than what you are providing to us. Then the good news was last year they are giving 2 lakhs as a amount we can reimburse from the company. So that's a big helpful for PW people. So it will help them to afford till 2 lakhs amount of any devices. So it will be more useful for them.
That's great. And I mean, you were able to get it from 50,000 to 2 lakhs. I think
Yes.
that's a good thing that, again, like Anuj has introduced it to his firm, you did it for your firm. So, on that note, do you know after this initiative came, say, even if it was 50,000, how many people actually utilize this incentive? And on that note, also, is it since you were already in the company, you knew about it? But do you think that because of this, there were new recruits who came in and were able to utilize this?
Yeah, that's what we have a bunch of people. We have a PWD department itself. We have monthly connect. So there we will have one portal to fill overall PWD category employees. They have to update their disability percentage over there. So they will automatically club into the group. So whenever the monthly connect happen, we will discuss these points, and then we will cover what are all the challenges people facing in the terms of assistive devices or some other help needed from the organization. Then we will bring certain points. So in the terms of any no, the people who have ear impairment, so they will cover all the impairment and disability category wise. So based on the requirement, we have a panel as well. So we will discuss as a group of a bunch of group of people. Every year the group will change, so they will come up with different ideas, and then they will implement in for PW people.
That's good. I think that's a great. Maybe we can interact with your organization more and get such processes that they've already set some examples, and others can actually replicate that.
Absolutely. So we are already discussing this new motion. So, what we are doing in our society. So we already brought to our leadership knowledge. So we already in a discussion, clubbing new motion to Accenture organization. Whoever requesting or we need this kind of vehicle, they can afford and buy it from their policy itself.
So, but is so on that note only. How much more is it in the other spheres, other forms of disability like speech and hearing, visually impaired?
Yes,
Do you
all
think
the
that
devices it's cover. Not only for PW, not only for spine injury people. It's cover all the disabled categories. Uh, who are ear impairment and then high visual issues. Those kind of people also they can buy the assistive devices in the market. Only the challenge is we have to buy within India, so we can't import from outside India. That is a challenge.
I think all 80 startups of India can
So IT
listen to
guys
that.
who are studying here, we need more devices to use to our PW people.
Yeah, I think that's an opportunity for us, right? So yes, I mean, while we know we are making good quality products, but yeah,
Absolutely,
please
yeah.
buy Indian, use Indian. Yeah, that's there. So I'll start now. Thank you all users for your perspectives, and I think just one quick summary that I can give is there are examples of the users driving the first example. I think you brought it up with your HR. You brought it up that okay, you already have an initiative, but that's not enough for us. We will get a very I won't say substandard, but it will not be the highest quality or not something that will be effective for us. So you took it up with your management, and then that actually led to a policy change.
Yes, not only me, as a team, we
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah. So I say exactly overall users driving it to their leadership so that such policy changes can happen in
yes, not
organizations.
only in assistive devices, even workstation, any modification we need based on the requirement, organization are willing to support in that
Can you
area as well.
quickly give us some examples on that?
Yeah, because for me, if I go to any conference room, I can't easily go that easy. The door are all very little tight, so there we need some support to open the door. So here we brought this to our leadership knowledge in one of the forum. Then they modified the door to open outside instead of inside. So similarly, when the desk we can't go inside that easily. There will be some block there. So we just have to work like this. There we got some modification for tables and all. So these kind of small changes give big impact to company. We will give more productivity for them.
No, you are quite humble to say it is small, but it is very big for you. At the end, if you can't enter the building, then how are you going to?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I mean, I just want to reiterate it because it sounds so maybe basic, but it's such a big thing. So doors have to open on the outside so that a person can at least push and go inside rather than pulling back and then holding, and then for a wheelchair user it does become a hassle. Uh,
And then,
just
sorry, one more point I want to cover here. Even in COVID time, they reach us. If the home also if we don't have that kind of facility, they very open to us, and then they came to who are all not having that accessible bathroom or wheelchair and all. They came to our house and they will modify the accommodation as well. So that is a great initiative by our company.
I think that's great. And it shows like, so Ashok sir, it shows that you really want to talk about the initiatives of your company, because at the end it is your company, it is your family. They are doing this for me, and it shows in the confidence that you are talking also.
Yeah, that's why I stick to that company for 16 years.
Okay, that's another
That's another
thing,
story.
yes.
So
Yeah,
you'll
that's
talk in
another
different
story.
forum. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, Vibha, I'll start with you first. So, why do you think it's important for any company, for that matter, to have persons with disabilities in their firm? Are there any special merits that you see as a company, as an organization? Can you just?
Sure. I think it's paramount for companies to include people from diverse backgrounds, diverse experiences. That leads to a much better collaboration. People bring their experiences, and that helps you understand the customer. So, Zomato being a customer facing company, for us to understand our customer base, we need a diverse pool of talent who has experience, who can think in the way our customers would. So I think it's extremely important, and we've seen that through our experience as well. A few years back, probably our app was not as accessible. We included a few persons with disabilities into our team. They highlighted that, customers highlighted that, and we've been able to build from there. So to to capture the customer base, you need to have a diverse pool within your organization.
That's quite interesting. So, so basically, you had users with different forms of disabilities who used your products. They gave their feedback, and then with that feedback, you were able to modify, make changes to your existing product so that it becomes inclusive for your differently able customer base itself. That's right.
Correct, correct. Having a diverse team, you have a very rich and holistic understanding of your customer base, right? Having people just from, say, Chennai, you probably wouldn't understand the needs of someone living in Gujarat. Just a simple geographical difference. That is multifold when it comes to persons with disabilities. So it's extremely important.
Great. So, a little more on that. So, what initiatives have been taken by Zomato to, get persons with disability as part of your team? Like, what internal changes or infrastructural changes? Could you just highlight some specifics that have been done at Zomato?
Sure. So when Ashok sir was speaking about doors, very recently a colleague came up to me and appreciated the lighter doors that we have at our office, which were an infrastructural change for persons with disabilities. However, even for the rest of the employees, we're probably walking in meeting rooms with a laptop, a notepad, a pen, a cup of coffee. It's very difficult to maneuver these heavy doors. So, not these infrastructural benefits, the infrastructural changes not only benefit persons with disabilities, but all employees. So, at Zomato, we keep having regular physical accessibility audits for our office to understand where we can improve. And that's one very major place where we work. Other than that, we try and make our employees as well as our value chain more diverse. Rihanna, of course, is from one such program in which we've announced that we'll try and include 300 persons with disability into our delivery partner fleet. We have another project in dark stores in another entity called Blinkit. That entire store is being run by 20 individuals who could not hear or speak, right? And I don't know if you normally have been into any grocery store, but there's a lot of coordination that is being required. And that store is not only running, but running very efficiently with those 20 people. And that is another project that we're trying to scale up pan-India. So those are a few of the key projects that we're looking at right now, Siddharth.
Just on that note only, so in fact, this was one of the introductions I thought that I'll use in this panel discussion also. See, empower is to empower users with disabilities, but it is also to empower corporates, like in the sense,
Definitely.
like say, like Ashok sir's organization has such policies. I'm sure there'll be somebody sitting over here, maybe an HR or a DNI person, who wants to implement such a thing in such an initiative in their organization. So, but they don't know how to start, where to start. Like just on this, so like you set up this warehouse, which is run by persons with visual impairment. What was the initial bit of challenge that was there to set it up? Did you, or what did you do? Did you go to somebody? Did you know somebody who already does this? Could you just share that so that others will be empowered enough to start the same thing in their organization?
Sure, I think that's a great question, Siddharth, because starting is actually the most difficult. Once you've decided that this is something that we have to do, you get around it. So I think intent is step number one that is required. But after that, actually speaking to professionals in the space, bringing in people, sharing their experiences is something that we did. And assistive technology is then the next thing that we looked at. How can we empower these people so that they can work as effectively, as efficiently as the rest of our workers or as the rest of our employees? So understanding those needs and empowering them so that they are comfortable to give their best. I think that is, those are the few key things which should be looked at. And there's so many people working in this space who are more than happy to direct you, to consult with you, reach out, speak to them, and take their experience is what I would say.
Thank you, Vibha. Uh, Mike, sir, I'll get to you now. See, Word Trust has been doing this for quite some time. This is not new to you that you employ persons with disabilities in your factories in Vellore. So, as a veteran organization in this field, what is your guidance to the new organizations who are going to be new in this diversity and inclusion, where they are trying to trying to give opportunities to persons with disabilities? As a person, as an organization who's done this in the past, what will be your guidance to them?
See, the model of Word Trust is when we started in 1963 with leprosy cured people. So at that time, it was very, very difficult. We used to train them on the job. And once these components were made for automobile components were made by them, they were not even be willing to touch them in the factories. So they thought, if we touch those components, we would also contract leprosy. So it was very, very difficult initially. And then through the years, that was in 60s and then 70s, leprosy was eradicated. Then we moved to polio affected because polio was the most dreaded disease at that time. So there were all our employees were physically challenged, and that time there were no wheelchair manufacturers in India. So we were compelled to start wheelchair manufacturing in the 70s. And it was a model which we imported and we started doing it for them. And what we saw, it was very, very difficult to get skilled employees. So we, without depending on others, we started our own technical training centers, offering them trades like turner, machinist, welding, where once they complete their training, they would join our industries that we had started. Then, towards the end of the 80s, uh, polio was eradicated, and then we shifted towards speech and hearing impaired. And there again, it was a complete different shift, like because we started the technical training only for the polio affected. So we had to reskill ourselves, where and also the physically challenged workers, they had to start, learning sign language so that they could work along with the others. So we still continued to deal with speech and hearing impaired, but what we have gone today in a big way is employment opportunities for those who are intellectually challenged and for the spinal cord injured persons. So each type of disability has unique responsibilities and difficulties, which as an organization, as WordPress, even though we are so many years old, it is always learning every single day. The challenges, we can talk about accessibility, we can talk about everything. But the best person to tell you what is best for themselves is the differently abled. And that is what we have been doing, and we have been very, very successful in this particular field.
Great. I think that that terminology, that for the people, by the people, for the people, by the people. I mean, you have persons with who are differently able, who are manufacturing wheelchairs for the differently able. So an entire cycle was covered there. And I think one thing that I took from your answer is that at the end, yes, it is diversity and inclusion. Employing persons with disabilities is not out of empathy or sympathy. At the end, we are running an organization, and it has to make sort of business sense, or it has productivity should be there. I mean, you just don't want to hire them just to show that yes, we are hiring people. So I think the important thing that you mentioned was you still need skilled people. At the end, even if I do get, say, a person who's speech and hearing impaired, but at the end, he should be able to use a turning machine. At the end, he can see, he can operate a machine, so he can use a lathe, he can use something like that. So that skilling also, you did it yourselves.
Yes.
You created your own skilling workforce by identifying persons with disabilities, skilling them, and then employing them yourself. So I think
Yeah, see, Worth Trust is an organization which gives them a comprehensive lifetime opportunity. So they come to us as children. So we go to camps all over the districts around Velo. We identify these children, put them into various types of disability, and we give them an education. We run a free school for speech and hearing impaired, where it is an inclusive education school until the 5th grade. So they study here, complete your 5th grade, go join a normal school. They come back to us after their 10th standard, join our technical training centers, complete your 2-year training, and then we put them on to the various industries that we run. And all our industries are just not, we are come under the Factories Act, and all of them are ISO 9000 certified organizations. And no one gives us business just because we run and employ the differently abled. We run on par with all the industries, and we get an opportunity to serve and give gainful employment to all these people. So at WordPress, today we have around 600 employees. 89% of all employees are differently abled, and 20% of them are women. And every industry that we run, we have all types of disability. We have leprosy cured, visually impaired, polio affected, physically challenged, spinal cord injured, and the intellectually challenged. And the new initiative that we have started about 2 months ago, the first organization to start a factory under the Factories Act completely for the intellectually challenged, making arts and crafts where we distribute all over as gifts and other things.
so basically creating a business model at the end of the day. So
Yes.
the one thing that I got from what you just said was that the components that you make are as or even or of the same standard, and that's why you get your clients. At the end, you manufacture automobile components, so which goes probably into a car or a bike or something like that. And if the component is not up to the mark, then you are not going to get the business to make that component. So at the end, it is employing persons with disabilities, yes, but at the end it has to be at par. The company is doing at par as just any other company in that industry, because you are running an organization at the end of the day.
Sure. It is not only the employment of the differently abled, we have to be on our toes for the quality, timely delivery, and even day-to-day communication. Everything has to be seen to.
Just one thing, one last thing on this note. So you mentioned the various kinds of different types of disabilities that are working in your factory. For everyone's say practical knowledge also, so that we can actually visualize, could you just mention one, say, impairment, and what is the kind of task or role that they would do? Like, say, for example, a person with spinal cord injury on a wheelchair, maybe one thing what that person does at the Worth Trust factory, and if you could just do that for everyone. So
Yeah. So, as I told you, all types of differently abled work in one particular factory that we run. So, we see the type of disability and then we put them onto various jobs. So, the various types of jobs that the differently abled undergo in various factories of Worth Trust are like they work on shop floors, on machines, which actually make automobile components. We have a lot of assembly jobs. We have differently able in the quality assurance, in packing jobs, supervisory. We have them in front office, accounts, finance, managerial, whatever. They do everything. Whatever a factory requires, and at every position we have different types of differently able. if they are not able to stand and work, if they are on wheelchairs, we put them on to jobs like packing and assembly. And when I tell assembly, it is all very high precision assembly jobs. In fact, we are the sole assemblers of the Perkins Braille, which is a typewriter for blind, which is in Boston, which has 800 components. And it includes very, very high precision, repetitive job, which is done very, very well with the speech and hearing impaired people and people on wheelchairs.
That last statement that you said, the high repetitive, high precision jobs also. So basically, you identify a task that requires probably these skills, and then you match it to the person basis the abilities that they have, and that's how the system
That's
works.
how we do that when they are already at the training centers. They study with us for 2 years, and most of their practicals are all in our industries. So they already know what is they expect in a normal factory. Not only at work trust, wherever if there is a work trust trainee, we are 100% sure that he would go straight into the job work. They do not require any training.
Great, great. Vibhaj, just a follow up. So, could you share some statistics, some numbers from Zomato? Say how many people are there at an absolute level or at a percentage level? Some numbers, like Sir said, there are some 600 there at Worth Trust. Any numbers that you could share for the audience?
Sure. So, of course, we are still very nascent in our journey of inclusion, but we are at almost an 85% target completion on 300 differently able delivery partners by December. The silent store that I was mentioning empowers 20 people with hearing and speaking impairment. We have a warehouse in Karnataka which has 7 people with disability. Within our office space as well, we have a small number but increasing number of persons with disability, and that's something that we're now actively trying to increase. But I think one thing I would just like to add there is that this role mapping that you were speaking of, identifying a skill set and a disability and mapping that together, does make sense in certain roles, but I wouldn't say in all. I think it's more specific to an individual and letting them know that what is the requirement of the role. So a lot of times the job descriptions that we put also are very biased in the way we talk, right? We say you need to speak fluently or need to speak a fluent language. Probably that is not an essential for that particular role. It can be that that role can be done without that. So I think job descriptions are something we have to rethink and let candidates actually do that role mapping. Because I feel as soon as an organization does that role mapping, we limit the opportunity for the individual there and then. So those are some of the numbers. But we are very ambitious to increase those numbers and and especially within our delivery partner fleet, we look to increase that rapidly since we have almost 3,75,000 delivery partners pan India. We're hoping at least we can do something like a 10% of inclusion of differently able delivery partners.
That's good numbers to hear, and especially for all the 80 startups here. And but what I think previously I forgot, I missed this part.
Sure.
What, since Zomato is actually at the end an app that everybody, for everyone, Zomato is an app.
Right.
What changes were done in the app so that delivery partners like Rihanna could actually work on Zomato? Any changes that you did, and for the customer facing part as well? Could you just elaborate
Sure.
on that?
So I think there are 2 parts to that. What changes were done to the app to make it more accessible? So we do have a feature very similar to to OK Google or Siri, which is voice assisted, in which you can search whatever you want by just speaking it out. We are also looking at how to other ways to make it more inclusive, but web accessibility is something we are still in the process of doing. We're also testing that out for a lot of different user groups. In terms of how do we make it easier for our persons with disability delivery partners, we notify our customers that your order is being delivered by someone with special needs, and that we would really appreciate if you could extend a helping hand, right? So often customers live at locations which are not accessible. There isn't a lift to go up. That is why we give that prompt up ahead so that customers can plan it out. If they're requested to come down and collect their order, they can. Um, at the side of the delivery partner itself, we're trying to have a separate channel for people with persons with disability to onboard themselves onto our app and make it a lot easier for them to become part of our larger family.
I think that the last part is a good initiative, because now that we've reached a stage of so many numbers who are doing it, they do require, they are still watching the videos that were made for the able body partners. So making them specific to them, the train, like how Word Trust has done specific training centers for persons with disabilities, something very, so the training modules will also be made according
Correct,
to
correct. Training is is a extremely important part. I'm sorry for the question. Training is an extremely important part, and that's also something we may overlook at times. It needs to be customized. It's essential, and expecting a person with disability to start working at the same efficiency as as a able-bodied person without any training is an unfair ask at an employer end.
Thank you, Eva. Uh, Gopinath sir, now so first of all, I would just want to ask, the SBI, does it have an inclusion policy? If there is any on that, you can just elaborate that. Then I'll go to the other part.
Yeah, there is. If you see for public sector banks, it is mostly the government of India which issues the guidelines, Ministry of Empowerment and Social Justice, to all public sector banks. It is about how all banks tweak it themselves and put it in a way that that is suitable for their own business needs. I can see from my bank, from my personal experience itself, I joined the bank in 2009. The same office where I joined, there were four physically challenged PWDs. They joined along with me. One was polio impaired. I think you spoke to him that day. So they've all been elevated in the same speed pace which I have been elevated. So I have been elevated 5 scales. Now I'm a chief manager. Now they're all in managerial scales. So one thing I was amazed at was the way those people were employed. They were in IT and they were allowed to be specialized. They were kept out of these transfer policies, and not just out of the transfer policies that they'll be shifted from different places, but they were given space to groom and grow themselves and contribute to the bank in a great way. I can give you just one name. His name is Mr. Ramkumar. You can Google also. You will find him in Google. So he is a person who was in the initial panel of, we invented a talking ATM model. He was building the audio module of that. So he was given a presidential award uh, by the government of India. So that is the kind of opportunities. There are so many things where whichever branch have been larger offices, there have been so many physically challenged people I've seen. So one, it gives an awareness also, like how to, the word inclusivity. So how to be inclusive wherever you see. After that, wherever I'm going, I'm just looking at if there are some ramps which are very steep, I get very irritated. So those are the kind of ideas that bank has given me, put into my mind. There are so many things apart from this, apart from the CSR activities which we do. I'm not talking about that. And one more thing we would like to mention here is our beloved professor Ashok sir. Uh, he put a idea into us in the bank that why should we not start a funding product for end users of the assistive vehicles or any implements for that. So we have started working on that model. It is an idea originated by our beloved professor, and so we are. I'm not able to tell more. It is in the final stages. We'll be coming up with a product, and so we'll be able to fit Neo Motion into that. Anyway, the starting point is here, so that will. We are expecting it very soon. So that will go a long way. It should. Anyway, professor always says we should go big. We should reach out to every corner of the nation. So that is kind of an inspiration. That is an opportunity I've got at this branch. So
So on that only, I just wanted to elaborate on that. So, but now that this initiative has come into place, but what was the hurdle? So now financing is available almost for anything. Like you can even buy groceries on financing. Was there a challenge that we have overcome now? Will this be there for the long run? Like for any like what Ashok sir had said that now companies are funding 2 lakhs, but exactly that is might not be a sustainable model in the future. You might have more people and that budget might not be suitable for companies, and then financing would become a more financially sustainable way how persons can buy assistive technologies. So was there a hurdle before and now will it be solved and now ATs can be financed?
of course, there was a hurdle. So we were trying to address. We were looking at the gaps where all we can plug in the gaps. One thing is any financing, any lender or banker would want to get the money back, whatever they have lent. So that comes the first place. It is the repayment ability. To assess the repayment ability, again, we'll have to see how are they employed, whether they'll be able to pay back. It is not about getting back if they are not paying. It is about helping them also. We should get back the money also. So we were trying multiple options like can we calculate the entire family income if the individual's income is not enough. So those were the things we are trying to address in this product. Maybe once we launch the product, we'll get to know if there are any things we can always update and whatever requirement.
Great. So I think that's good news for users, for startups also, so that they have a great channel, so that persons can actually buy the products also, buy the assistive technology also, and then start using it for their day-to-day life. Thank you all for all your views. I would just have some points that I've summarized from all these conversations. I think Ashok sir mentioned about a PWD portal that they have in their organization, so that makes the process streamlined. It is not just a one-off for one employee or two employees. It is for more and more people and for the years to come. So having a portal like that by companies can at least start the process. Has to be initiated by users. I think that is a point that, and you also mentioned about the employee in SBI. It has to start by employees asking that, yes, I can work for you. You can, in your normal process, recruit me, take my interview, do all of that, recruit me, see my performance, and then take it ahead. So, initiating it by the users itself is it's a good way to get this ahead. I think one very thing, again, I would like to repeat the way how Ashok sir spoke about his organization, that at the end, for all organizations, if they want to have that sort of employee love for them or internal branding for themselves amongst their own employees, so that there is no, attrition. I think that is important. So if the kind of way how you spoke about your own organization, the intent should be there. I think you mentioned that intent has to be there by organizations. They want to implement DNI, they can do it, but that intent has to come, and it's just about making some policy and infrastructural changes. And one thing that I think caught from what you said is catch them young. So you can actually find them at early stages, just like any other organization. They come to a company, they come to colleges, hire them as interns, and then probably give them PPOs so that they become regular employees. So again, catching them young, probably having that additional aspect of rehabilitation there, then skilling them, and then actually recruiting them yourself for your organization. So great, thank you all. It was a great session, and I think a promising session for everyone here, persons with disabilities as well. There are opportunities available. Companies are willing to support, not support, companies are willing to hire you. You need to skill yourself, upskill yourself, and then just apply, and there are opportunities available. There are going to be financing solutions available so that, yes, for startups, they can make their products and persons can buy it and then use it for their jobs. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.